The fallen angels presented themselves to the world in Noah's time as gods, or false gods, pretending to be gods. And in doing so, they had swayed and manipulated earthly women into an unholy sexual union which produced giants and demigods. The term Nephilim in the Hebrew means a giant, but it also means fallen one. In God's intended creation, humans are born with a body, a spirit, and a soul. Okay, body, spirit, and soul. The Nephilim, as a result of an unholy sexual union, contrary to God's intended creation, are born with a body and spirit, but they have no soul. And here we have the result of genetic contamination. Soulless beings. And God saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. At the time of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, everything was perfect. They had full fellowship with God. Then Satan, now the fallen angel Lucifer, and also disguised as a serpent, caused Adam and Eve to sin against God, which caused them to fall. Now, because of this, God had no other choice but to remove them from a perfect world environment into a less perfect world environment in a fallen state of sin. And here we have the beginning of the progression of sin. This is the start of sin. That started at the fall of Adam and Eve, which introduces sin to the world. Sin is passed through the generations, through the bloodline. We are all of us are born into the world of sin. As the population grows, sin is shown to grow exponentially with the population when that population continues to turn away from God's will. If sin continues to grow exponentially, wickedness and evil begin to envelop society. In a sinful environment apart from God, satanic influences begin to take hold. Satanic strongholds begin to shift all worship away from God to full-out worship of gods or fallen angels. Once full worship is achieved, unrestricted advancement and manipulation begins to occur. Manifestations and appearances begin to happen. Once unrestricted advancement and manipulation take hold, genetic contamination begins. This is a society completely far apart from God. Now, this is an extreme level of physical decay. Remember, Satan cannot create. Okay? He can only attempt to alter what is already created. So here's a question for you. At what point is our current society along in this progression? Genesis 6:6-7. And he repented the Lord that he had made man on earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. It's very clear here that God was absolutely regretful that he had made man. Now, by the way, repent means to turn away from. It must have been absolutely painful to witness his creation systematically being corrupted and altered from its original state. One thing is for sure, there comes a point in time where God has and will step in. Whereas the fallen angels, by their own choice, not only gave up third heaven, but also gave up their heavenly estate, or spiritual clothing, if you will, and cohabited with earthly women on earth against the will of God. This action caused the manipulation and altering of life forms in God's creation. And this caused genetic contamination on a grand scale, never seen before in the history of man on earth. Because of this, God had no other choice but to virtually destroy the majority of life forms by way of the global flood.
You're with your baby and you're parked alone on a summer night. You're deep in love, but you're deeper in the woods. You think you're doing alright. Did you hear that voice? Did you see that face? Or was it just a dream? This can't be real, that only happens, babe, on the movie screen.
apart from God, satanic influences begin to take hold. Satanic strongholds begin to shift all worship away from God to full-out worship of gods or fallen angels. Once full worship is achieved, unrestricted advancement and manipulation begins to occur. Manifestations and appearances begin to happen. Once unrestricted advancement and manipulation take hold, genetic contamination begins.
Almighty's back. He's the man behind the mask, and he's out of control. He's back. The man behind the mask, and he crawled out of his hole. Yes.
Really, Liv? What time did you wake up? Are you okay?
Liv, I'm getting vaccinations.
Vaccinations. Come on, baby. Go get dressed.
They put something dead inside you. Dead. Into your blood. Gruesome.
Ella J, please go get dressed.
Liv, the stuff that they put in me isn't dead anymore. It came back alive. Can that really happen?
It's just bad dreams, baby girl. It's just bad dreams.
Stay fit, stay focused, stay ready.